YouTube. It's your boy Official Bompton Jack Dripper back on Slim Gang TV. Tonight, I actually got some news you can use. Breaking news, escape inmate Derrick Groves has finally been caught. We're going to run this beautiful or unbeautiful bean footage. We're going to talk about it. And, we're going to follow the drip.
We are interrupting NBC News Daily because we are following major breaking news. Derrick Groves, the one remaining inmate at large from that massive jailbreak from the jail in New Orleans in May, has just been captured in the last 15 minutes in southwest Atlanta. All we know right now, this is coming from U.S. Marshals and federal officials, is that they were acting on a tip from Crime Stoppers New Orleans and other information reporting that Groves had possibly been in the Atlanta, Georgia area.
I had to stop it. If the tip came from Nolans, did BG tell on this nigga? Did BG rap BG? Somebody called BG. Is he out there working with the... No, I'm just playing. For that call to come from New Orleans and he was in Atlanta, that means somebody he know that he's been in contact with dropped 2 nickels on his ass, a dime.
They went to a house, and that is where they found Groves in the last 30 to 45 minutes. It is our understanding from federal U.S. Marshals that Derrick Groves is in custody right now. When he'll be extradited back to New Orleans, that is not known. But as everybody knows by now, Groves was one of 10 people to break out of the Orleans Justice Center, which is just another name for the jail in the city of New Orleans back in May. 9 other inmates had been captured. Many believe that Groves could possibly have been the mastermind of this entire escape. Derrick Groves is a convicted killer, having been found guilty of killing numerous people on Mardi Gras Day several years ago. He has now been on the run for several months, but now on October 8th, he has now been brought to justice in the Atlanta area in southwest Atlanta. We are waiting for a video from the scene. It's our understanding that Atlanta PD as well as federal officials raided a house a few hours ago. They were tipped off that Groves could have been there. And now, according to U.S. Marshals, he, in fact, was there. Joining us live, the point person for a lot of this, U.S. Marshal Brian Fair. Brian, first off, Congratulations on ending now what has been almost a 6-month search for Derrick Groves.
Thank you, and can't take credit for it. This was a team effort through multiple law enforcement agencies.
Let me stop. From crime. This was not a team effort. This was a monetized effort. They threw some money out there. It's close to Christmas time. People doing bad. I bet my life to a bucket of shit. His people turned him in. But we're gonna listen to this dumbass U.S. Marshal.
Stoppers GNO.
Crime.
So if you can talk about this. You have done a lot of interviews. You told us back in May, it may take weeks, it may take months, but we will eventually catch Derrick Groves. I know that the investigation is still fresh. It's actually happening right now, but how did you all track him down to Georgia, to southwest Georgia? Was it essentially just a tip called in the Crime Stoppers?
It was a combination of tips that we received from Crime Stoppers GNO and then follow-up work done by the U.S. Marshal Service over the last couple months.
From his family.
We developed information that he was possibly at a house on Honeysuckle Street in Atlanta, Georgia. And this morning, from what you saw in the news, was the follow-up of that. The U.S. Marshals New Orleans Task Force sent a collateral lead out to the U.S. Marshals Southeast Regional Fugitive Task Force in Atlanta. They, along with the Atlanta PD SWAT team, acted on that tip. And behind the scenes, there was a lot of investigative work done here in New Orleans by the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office, the New Orleans Police Department, Louisiana State Police, FBI, HSI, and the U.S. Marshals. So there was a lot of manpower, hours, and investigation that went into this to today's result.
Yeah, and look, Brian, we're all going to have a lot of questions. So is the general public watching this right now. Do you know how long he's been in Atlanta or how he got there? I mean, obviously he didn't fly. Does it seem like somebody transported him across state lines to try to hide him out in Georgia?
I don't want to speculate at this time. I would guess that, yeah, somebody probably did help transport him there. That's going to be a follow-up investigation that will be done. It is possible additional people go to jail.
And is this the kind of thing, this does bring a close to this, with the exception of the investigation still going on at OPSO, but is this a day that people can breathe a big sigh of relief that all 10 inmates are finally back in custody?
Yes, I would say this is that day that you can finally, relax a little bit now that this has finally been done. It's taken quite a few months. We're just happy it's over. It took several hours once they went to the house today. He was hiding in a crawl space. A lot of manpower hours and effort and equipment had to be used today to get him out of the house.
And he came out without incident, or did he put up any kind of fight? I know these are details that are still coming into you as well.
I would not call this without incident. There was probably a 3 or 4 hour, I don't know if we call it a standoff, where we didn't know if he was in the house or not. Nobody was there, but ultimately he was located in a crawl space in the house. So.
Does it seem, I mean, look, Brian, I know this is...
Nobody was there. What a coincidence. The one time nobody's there, they run in there and they, okay.
All going to come out in the investigation, but do you believe he's been there for several weeks or months? I mean, is this the kind of place that he went to back in May and has just been holed up in Southwest Atlanta since?
You're busting my balls over here.
That's going to take some more follow-up work. I would say we probably believe he's been there for a little while, but we don't know how long. It's going to take a lot more follow-up work on that end.
And look, is this the kind of thing, too, where you all have exhausted a lot of man hours and time, but this is what the U.S. Marshals do. I mean, you track down people who are wanted by local, state, and federal law enforcement, while you've seen the task force get smaller, where NOPD, OPSO, state police had to pull some people back because they had to go on with other cases. The U.S. Marshal's Office never stopped working on this.
Correct. And they still had people assigned to the case. Like state police has somebody assigned full-time on our task force. So does Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office. So those people continue to work, and LSP and Orleans continue to support our efforts during that time. So did HSI and FBI. The scale got a little smaller, but like I said, we at that point, once the majority of them were captured, we were able to focus more on Mr. Groves.
And look, I don't know if you can see it, Brian. We were taking a live look. That looks like a federal and state SWAT team. As we talk to you, we have a live picture from Atlanta here where they just brought him to justice. If you can walk us through the process for something like this, because I think everybody is captivated by it and wants to know. They want to see the veil pulled back. You make a call to your counterparts in Georgia, and is it basically they go to work immediately? I mean, this looks like a high-level task force here of highly skilled officers, SWAT team members right now surrounding that house that brought him to justice.
Yeah, correct. So a lead is set out. They also have their own work to do, remember, like they have their own cases that are violent offenders as well. So they prioritize cases. Obviously, this was a big one. So they prioritized it and began working it. And it may not, I mean, some people would think, it's just very simple. You just run out to the address and go knock on the door. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes work that goes on to before you even go knock on a door. And that's what you saw today. There was a lot of work done. Like I said, Crime Stoppers GNO provided significant support all summer long and even today. So it took some effort to get the result that we had today.
And look, Groves is different than the rest of these escaped inmates because he has been convicted of murder. He will spend the rest of his life per his sentence at Angola without probation or parole. Did it make him more of a flight risk? Did it make it more of a high-risk matter, given the fact that, I hate to use this term, he really had nothing to lose because unlike a lot of these escapees who were pretrial detainees waiting for their day in court, Groves knows his fate. He's going to the state prison at Angola.
All right, fly white guy, you're out of there. We're done with that, right? Look, Derrick Groves have been caught in Atlanta, somewhere in Atlanta. Now we praying. We're praying. They don't put him in there with King Harris. We're praying they don't put him in there with Tip and Tiny's little baby. Yeah, it's an unfortunate day for the bad guys. In my opinion, it's October. It's close to Thanksgiving. Then you have Christmas. I do think it was time for somebody to drop 2 nickels on my boy, like I said, a dime, so they can get their Christmas together. You heard it here first. King Harris's new cellmate, Derrick Groves, has been captured in Atlanta. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and follow the drip this way, not that way. Over there. You get close to the holidays, they call it and turn your stupid ass in. Like, comment, subscribe.